Okay, so I finally did it. Finally happened. I saw Ghostbusters. Not just one. I saw all three. Now, before anybody comes at me with pitchforks and torches. No, cat, not right now. Later. I never really was pretty much open to it. Whatever my parents saw, I saw. They were into the usual, mother was into chick flicks, so I saw those. And my father, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, the movies that people hate and I grew up to love, so it's just kind of like Ghostbusters didn't fit anywhere in there. And I finally sat down and I was like, hey, I want to be part of the Ghostbusters fan group. Their little cult of, hunting ghosts and whatnot. And I finally sat down and saw all of them back to back. And this is what the next three videos are going to be about. It's about Ghostbusters, but I'm going to review them individually. I was stuck between figuring out, should I throw them all in one video? Should I just do a review of the whole series? But then I'd figure, certain viewers would be confused of which one I'm talking about. So I'm gonna start with the first one and we'll work our way from there. I'm gonna go ahead and say these three are gonna be spoiler free. It may not be the last one. The last one may have spoilers, and trust me, it's not really gonna matter anyways. But I do want to go ahead and talk about the first one. It's 2018 now. It's a very old movie, 1984, and I gotta say, I was pretty blown away, really. For me, if anybody watches movies with me knows I talk way too damn much during a movie. If I'm quiet throughout a whole movie, I'm invested. I'm engulfed. I am with them 100% of the way. And that's kind of what happened in the first film. I did like everything as far as like effects. This is 1984, so the effects aren't going to be fantastic. They're not going to be over the top, but they were good for their time. And I can't use that with every single movie, but I legitimately think that this movie was great for its time. The characters as well, everything went pretty well. There's a purpose for everything in here. And it's just, I felt invested. I felt like I was on a journey with these guys. There are some things here and there I don't like, and it kind of draws the movie back 10% maybe. We can start with Bill Murray. I do like his character Peter to an extent. I like that he's ready to go in there, but he's not always... I don't believe him. They keep calling him Dr. Venkman. I don't believe he's a doctor. I think he cheated his way through school or whatever he had to do. This is the money guy. This guy should have been the one handling all the finances, because he seems to know what to do about that. The whole Ghostbusters thing, I think he was just riding along. When I think of Peter Venkman, I think of the scumbag of the group. It's always this scummy person that you like because he's Bill Murray, but I was really disappointed with that, because I thought, I always have a favorite when it comes to group movies. And I really thought it would be Bill Murray, because Bill Murray is incredible. I just could not bring myself to like his character as Peter Venkman. Egon Spengler, he was okay. In case anybody doesn't know, Harold Ramis played him. He was cool as far as the sciencey side, but he was over the top sciencey. Everything was science with him. When Vanessa, the secretary, would like try to hit on him, make moves on him, he just wasn't buying it. He just wasn't getting it. So he was just too into his work, which is fine. Sorry about that. But it's just, come on, man. There's more to it than that. You have to have an outside life at some point. If all your life is work, you wasted all your life. Just have your name put in a book. What are you doing back there? I heard her moving something. Or getting into something she's not supposed to be. Ray Stantz. That would be Dan Aykroyd. Whatever his name is. I'm actually looking at the cast right now. I have it pulled up because I don't like taking notes. Ray is probably my favorite. Just because he's smart. You know, he's got some enthusiasm. The rest of the guys, you know, Egon and Peter, they always vote him to go do the dangerous stuff. And he doesn't say no. And he doesn't really back away from it. He's ready to jump in. This guy is risk and reward. And I liked him throughout the entire time. I was rooting for Ray no matter what. You also have Winston. His last name is cut off. Ernie Hudson. I've seen him in other movies. I did not know he was one of the Ghostbusters in the 2 films. And that kind of surprised me a bit. But I really liked him as an actor. So having him in this movie is just a bonus for me. I felt like I didn't get to know him too well. He came in sort of at the halfway mark, and I wish there was more. And same for the second part. I'll get to that whenever I get to the second movie. It might be because of his popularity status, why he didn't get much screen time. But nevertheless, he was a good addition. He just wouldn't make it to my star player, as in the one I root for. I am glad he's in there, though. It does change things up. He's not a scientist, but he's ready to get his hands dirty when need be. Sigourney Weaver, you know, playing as Dana Barrett. She was hot. I'll tell you that. I didn't even know it was her at first. She was smoking for this film. You know, I didn't even know she was in there. She was in both films, but she was looking good, and I'm kind of makes me want to go back and watch, you know, the Alien movies just to admire her a little bit more. But man, she was a 9. I'll give her that. She was a 9. You had Rick Moranis. He doesn't make films anymore, and you guys can go look that up online. It's actually a really cool story with some downfall in it, but still, the mentality that he had of why he doesn't make movies anymore is pretty cool, and I quite respect that. He plays Tully, and he did really well as a dork, which is cool. He's very pushy, very slow as well. I like that they kept him as well, but it all comes down to, did I enjoy the movie? I enjoyed it. I was with him 100% of the way. I wish there was more monsters, more ghosts involved, because I don't know if it was the budgeting or whatever, but man, I needed more. I needed to see them in action a little bit more, because they cut out a lot of things, because it just shows them in the news articles and TV. Hey, we caught this, we caught 2 more, we caught 3 more. I needed more than that, you know. Even if they wanted to do that in between the major ghost catchings, still give me that. I mean, granted, this movie's like what, an hour and a half, a little bit more than that. I mean, the last one, the reboot, was about 2 hours, I think. I mean, if they can put a bunch of bullshit in 2 hours, I mean, you can extend this one a little bit. I don't know. Overall, I'd have to say I recommend this movie to anybody that knows of the Ghostbusters and wants to get into it, or they've always been a Ghostbusters fan. They just never seen the movies. They just like the image of it. You know, I recommend seeing it. I mean, it's fun. There's a lot of jokes and a lot of puns. It was great. I mean, the ghosts that were involved were pretty well done, and the way that they handled things is also really cool. So I like that. I like the plot here. It does slow down maybe here and there. Like I said, I wish there were more ghosts. We could see more of how they go about this thing, because when they first start, none of their shit was tested, and they had some misfires and hard controllings of everything, but still, they did pretty well. And even the last part, you know, I was on edge. I really thought, oh man, we're gonna lose somebody here. So, what do I give it a recommend? Yes. and I'll go into more depth of how I would see that recommend. If this was in a movie theater, would I go back and see it? Yes, I would. Seeing it on Blu-ray, you know, HD, all that crap, you do notice a little the cheapness of some of the things. There's actually a scene in there where it's really noticeable of how cheap the effect was for that particular part. It was towards the end, so I can see where the money started getting cut shorter and shorter, and it was great overall. I mean, it's noticeable, but it's great. I'm sure there are people out there that would rather have a score out of 10. If I were to give it out of 10, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Like I said, I wish I could have saw more ghosts. And even when they were doing the, you know, flashing forward, you know, this is what we were doing throughout that time, the little snippets, all they really did was walk out with the traps with the ghost in them. I would like to see more of the actual ghost. That would have been pretty cool. But they probably spent most of that time developing the characters. And I'm glad they did. They could just do it while they're in action as well. I mean, this could be, it's not necessarily an action movie. They have it here as a fantasy movie, but still recommend it. Do I recommend owning it? I do, but I wouldn't just get the first one. If you're gonna get one, you got to get all of them, excluding the third one. I'm actually gonna end this video right here because I'm gonna stop this video, work on the next video, so that way I can have all 3 up by the end of today. So if I'm wearing the same outfit, don't worry about it. I do shower. And I'll see you on the other side, guys.